Well, hello YouTube. How you guys doing? Jared Fuller here. Today is Sunday, December 1st, 2019. Dad and Amy are here. Amy got up and went to the bathroom. Dad, he's outside changing tires on my van. Of all days, he wants to change tires on my van. And I'll show you why right now, if you can put the video clip up. Yeah, see, we got a lot of snow overnight, and we had some thunderstorms early this morning, too. Look at all that snow. So, yeah, that was a lot of snow we got this morning. And joining me now, in that short nick of time, is Amy. She doesn't sound too thrilled today, but that's okay. It could be. Is it the weather?
Yeah, I'm down. The weather's got me down is what it is. I'm down.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I've been battling allergy issues all week. It didn't really put a damper on my Thanksgiving, but it was noticeable. I've been sneezing, blowing my nose. So it's been a pain in the ass, really. My sinuses have just been constantly draining. But, I mean, I don't have a fever. I'm not coughing. I don't have a cold or anything. It's just my sinuses draining. But other than that, I feel okay. And I feel okay enough to remind all of you to visit GuideStar.org. See, there's always a segue into the next thing I want to talk about. GuideStar.org has a complete and comprehensive listing of all the 501c3s in the United States. Get that right. Don't be fooled, don't be duped. Visit GuideStar.org today.
We don't want to.
Well, you should, because, you know, if you like to donate to nonprofit organizations, if you have the charitable spirit, especially now during the holidays, it's always good to do your homework. And, you know, there's people who may not otherwise understand or be aware of who's legitimate and who isn't. And GuideStar has that list for you readily available. So you just don't want to give your money to anybody just because they say they have a nonprofit organization. But that's what GuideStar is there for. And you can probably hear my dog snoring. And the cat meowing to get out. That was like right on cue, man. That was perfect timing.
Are you trying to talk to your
But Mama,
kitty? You want out?
I'm busy right now. Unless you got something you want to add to my video. She doesn't. She's just up there.
No, she have to go potty, and that's why she got
Well,
me out.
well, she should have thought of that before I hit the record button. But anyway, I hope all of you had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Mine was pretty good. I had my brother here, and my stepdad was here, and of course it was Dad, Amy, and myself. Dad prepared the ham, and he put the yams in the microwave, and I did the rest of the cooking. I made my green bean casserole. I made my deviled eggs.
I just finished last
You finished off my green bean casserole?
Yes, I did, sir.
Okay. I made green bean casserole, deviled eggs, and mashed potatoes. It was really good. Between Dad and I think we did a really good job.
Yeah, I had your green bean casserole and a bowl of cereal.
Ugh. I don't know how well that would, not in my stomach. I don't think it would mix well. But, yeah, between Dad and I think we did pretty good. We had biscuits and, of course, sweet potatoes, yams. It was good. We sent some food home with my brother. Well, all he wanted was ham, because we didn't have a turkey. We never have a turkey for Thanksgiving, although traditionally you're supposed to have a turkey. We don't. We have a shank ham, and it was good. It was very good. Thanksgiving was a hit. I enjoyed it, and I had one complaint though about my my deviled eggs. I added too much mustard. Oh well, they still got eaten up, right? I mean,
Sorry.
sound effects from her phone. She's playing a game on her phone, but they still got eaten up. My stepdad, he had about, I think, 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah, and then Dad sent 8 home with them.
Yeah.
Plus, they kept eating them off the plate. And then you figure figured Dad ended up eating like 6 or 8 more.
Well, you figure we had 2 dozen eggs.
I got at least 3.
Yeah.
Out of the 2 dozen.
Yeah, we had 2 dozen eggs, and I hard-boiled all of them, I believe. Because I think there were about 24 eggs I made up. But yeah, I was a busy guy on Thursday. I hope all of you had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday with your loved ones. And, you know, every so often, I mean, especially around the time of Thanksgiving, everybody wants to get into great detail about what they're thankful for. But I would argue that you should look into that every day of your life. Every day, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, you should always be thankful for something. Over there. You should always be thankful for something.
I'm thankful for my phone.
I'm thankful to have survived childhood cancer. I'm thankful to have the friends and the family that I have. I'm thankful for any number of things. I'm thankful for my dog who snores so loudly that he rattles the windows in the house. I'm thankful for that too. Yeah, you know, there's a lot to be thankful for. And I don't tell people what they should be thankful for like most other people do. Because there were moments when, you know, I found nothing to be thankful for, especially around Thanksgiving. And I just had that bitter attitude about Thanksgiving, like, I've got nothing to be thankful for. What do I care, you know? It's just another day to me, and everybody, well, you know, Jared, you have one thing to be thankful for. You should be thankful for this and this and this and this. Well, it's not anybody's job to tell me what I should be thankful for. Because being thankful for something or grateful for something, like my cat, you should be able to find that within yourself. You have to find that on your own. And I don't think that anybody has a right to tell you what you should and should not, you know, find things to be thankful for. And this cat,
is climbing up your wall.
Of course, she's going to interrupt me. Right when I'm in the middle of doing this, I have to get up and let her out. You're irritating me.
Don's already went out before you started, so hopefully we're good.
Now I don't have to get up again. Until she meows to get in, she's going to stay outside.
Probably won't reach till later.
But anyway, it's not anybody's job to tell you what you should be thankful for, and it's not my job to tell anybody what they should be thankful for. You have to find that within yourself. But it's been kind of a busy week. Well, it's been a busy week. No kind of about it. We had my cousins down, I think it was Friday.
Yeah.
They were here on Friday.
They were here the 29th.
Yeah, the 29th, because, yeah, we were out paying bills on Friday. The credit union was closed, so I was unable to go in and withdraw my money so I could pay my bills, so I could only take out so much money from the ATM on, you know, that day. So now I got to wait to pay the rest of my bills, which is only just my car insurance, and then my bills will be caught up. But it was really crazy, you know, and it was Black Friday, and, you know, the busiest day of the year after Thanksgiving. You know, everybody's out doing their last-minute Christmas shopping, and it's like, why, today of all days, when you know it's busy, why are you going to be closed? And it's like, you had your Thanksgiving yesterday, just right along with everybody else. Frank's Supermarket in Chesaning even closed early on Thanksgiving Day. At like, what, 1 o'clock?
Yeah, some people ain't even back from their vacation yet to open their businesses.
Yeah, I mean, it's, they should have, they should not have done that. It was very inconvenient for those of us. And when I did go up to, or, you know, because Dad had to take me because I didn't have a van, my tires were flat, but Dad had to take me up to the credit union, and the ATM lanes were bumper to bumper, and people were getting pissed. I was mad. It's like, why of all days, when we have bills to pay, a lot of us are on fixed incomes, why on earth, on all days, why are they closed today? When they know that it's a busy day, they would have gotten a lot of business.
Yeah.
And
Especially with it being Black Friday.
yeah, I mean, I just don't understand it. But whatever. Like I said, my other bills are caught up. I just got to pay my car insurance. I'll probably do that tomorrow if the roads aren't slippery. Because early this morning, I just showed footage of the snow covered. My van's covered in snow, but we actually did have thunder and lightning this morning around 4 o'clock.
I was going to say, I didn't hear nothing. That must have been out.
No, you guys were asleep. I was still up. The lightning it flashed really bright through my bedroom window, and it thundered like maybe 5 or 6 times.
Didn't even know it.
Yeah, it was kind of noisy.
And that's weird because I didn't even take my regular medicine last
And then after the fact, we had an ice storm warning.
Excuse me.
So it's like, thunder, lightning, now an ice storm. Only in Michigan, folks. Only in Michigan. Which,
The roads ain't bad.
the roads aren't slippery, okay. Well, they're advising people. I saw that on the news this morning. They're telling people don't drive today because the roads are covered in snow and there's a sheet of ice underneath of the snow.
Yeah.
And because we had freezing rain and sleet and all that other nasty stuff. But if Dad says the roads are clear, then maybe they are. I don't know. Oh, I was at my friend's house last night, Greg and Holly's. I haven't been over there in quite some time. The kids were happy to see us. Tegan come running up to me, gave me a hug around my waist. Jared! She got really excited. There was a 1-year-old baby there last night. Cutest little thing. Her name was Anne Maria, and she had her teeth up there, her 2 upper teeth and a bottom row of teeth. And I'm talking to her, and she's smiling and hiding her face in her mom's chest and everything. And she was a cutie pie. She was running back and forth. She was taking ornaments off Greg and Holly's Christmas tree and running.
Most kids do.
Yep, because they're shiny and oh, right, it's in arm's reach. I'm just going to yank it off the tree and run and laugh while I'm doing it. Little stinkers.
Mama, you can't catch me. Daddy, you can't catch me.
But it wasn't Holly and Greg's baby, of course. It was a friend of theirs. I think it was a friend anyway, maybe a relative, I'm not sure. I think it was her sister, or maybe just a friend that she calls sister. And
Right.
I don't know. I really have no idea. But just so cute. 1-year-old baby, Anne Maria. And she was sitting in her high chair, and she was eating nachos. They prepared nachos last night, and her mom put a small portion of chips. It wasn't like big chips, but just a small portion, and she'd crunch a chip, but she would look at me while she was crunching a chip, and she would just chew, but she would stare at me. Then she'd look at her mom and hand her mom a chip, and her mom would say, "No, baby, it's nice that you want to share with Mama, but you eat your food." And then she threw the chip on the floor for the dog, and
All because Mama didn't want.
typical baby stuff. Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
Mom, you don't want it. I'm giving it to the dog.
Yeah, and she did. The dog crunched it up. That's the next thing you heard. She threw it on the floor, and then she looked down, and she's just watching the dog. And then she laughed. Then she laughed at the dog making the crunching sounds. And Mom says, "Why is that funny? The dog eating a chipper?" And showing her little teeth. It was cute. But yeah, so we were at our friend's house in Oakley last night, and then we came back home.
And then we find out your relatives the hospital having a trip.
Yeah, my uncle Bob had a triple bypass surgery, and of course Facebook, because that's where anybody finds anything out. I found out on Messenger. Someone actually messaged me and, hey, Uncle Bob's having open heart triple bypass surgery. What? So, yeah, that's usually how it goes. We're usually the last to find anything out, but
yeah, and all that person said was, well, not a triple,
just open heart surgery.
yeah, open heart surgery.
Yeah, that's
well,
it.
Then Uncle Mark called the day.
Yeah.
He must have went over to Joanne's after he left here last night.
Aunt Joanne's, yeah.
And Joanne told him that it was a triple
Yeah.
bypass.
So really, I don't even know. Well, I mean, because Bob would be Joanne's brother and
Yeah.
Uncle Mark's brother, but
She got the call from the one we were just talking about that posted it.
oh yeah, my cousin. It'd be my cousin Tony's wife, Jolie. Yeah.
Yeah, she got the call from her. Joanne did.
And
Mark questioned Joanne and got it out of her.
Well, yeah, it's her brother, you know.
Well, he's like, that's pretty sad, Joanne. No one can get a hold of me.
Well, no.
Let me know, so if I want to go to the hospital, I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the way it goes. We're always the last to find anything out. But, yeah, my Uncle Bob, he's in the hospital. I'm wishing the best for him. I haven't seen my Uncle Bob in, oh, wow, a long time. I don't even know how long it's been. I see his son, my cousin Robbie, once in a while, and I'll see his daughters, Megan and Brianna, once in a while. Brianna and I, we used to talk all the time. We used to be really close, but I don't know. We kind of stopped talking for a little while. I guess she just got too busy, and she's living her life. I'm doing my thing. But, I'm sure we still talk on occasion, and so, but, she's got me on Messenger. She's got my cell phone number, so text me, Bree. Please text me, message me, do anything. I want to hear from you. Yeah, I can't say I never hear from Bree, but it's very few and far between now. Like, we used to talk all the time about everything, but that's okay, she's doing her thing, and of course I'm doing mine, and it happens. But we haven't forgotten about each other. Matter of fact, I messaged her the other day, and she, we talked a little bit about things. I'm talking about my cousin, by the way. But it happens, people, you can be close to somebody 1 minute and not be the next, and it sucks. But, that's how it is.
Or you try to put up with family that you can't stand.
Yeah, if I can help it, I just don't. I just avoid them altogether. It's like, I'm over here on my side of the world, you stay on yours.
Right. That's hard to do, though, at my mom's house.
Yeah, well.
So I don't like going there for the holidays.
I was on a Owasso on Friday.
Dad and I got to go back to Owasso on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
But it was kind of a busy week. It was a good week, other than me fighting allergy issues. It's been a pretty good week. However, last Monday was probably not it was not a good day. I put up a couple of videos. I made a poem video, and I posted a special condolence video. A little boy named Grant Hopkins. He was only 9 years old. He passed away. He had neuroblastoma. I actually met Grant. I went to see him. I went to his house, and I visited him at the hospital. And And I don't know. I think the viewing is tomorrow and the funeral is on Tuesday. I think if I read that correctly. I could be wrong. But anyway, he was only 9 years old. His mom and I have been talking periodically, here and there, because this is very fresh and very new to them. We've been talking in I think text message or messenger, I don't remember right off, but we've been talking, we've been communicating, and again, my love and support goes out to Grant's family. I feel bad because Grant was a very strong, very vibrant, very beautiful kid who got dealt a very shitty hand. I mean, 9 years old.
And how long did he have it before?
People tell me all the time, well, there's a reason for everything. Well, give me one good fucking reason why a child should ever have cancer, let alone die from it. Then I might consider it. But there, as far as I can see, there is no good reason. Well, everything happens for a reason. Okay. But it's a kid. He didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing in the world that a child could ever do to deserve that. But I really don't want to delve into that too much because it's not about that. It's about remembering and just showing love and understanding and sympathies to the family. And I feel bad, having met him and I went to his house. I got him a bird shirt, and his face lit right up because green was his favorite color. And on the back of his bird shirt was his name, and it was in neon green lettering, like I did on all the bird shirts that I made for the Warriors.
Now, was his shirt actually red or was
Yes,
it green?
it was red. His shirt was red, but the lettering on the back, his name on the back was in green, neon green. It just sucks because I can handle it if it's an adult. Dad and I talk about this. If it's a grown up, if they've lived for a little while, they got to see life. It's sad, but I can handle it better. Maybe perhaps I would handle it better. We're talking about a 9-year-old kid, practically still a baby. 9 years old. It's a life cut far too short. And, wow. I don't know what else to say. Other than it's heartbreaking. But I figured I would put together a condolence video. And I had written a poem called Today I Saw a Rainbow, which the poem video's on my YouTube channel here. And really, that's how it was. Like, after I found out about Grant passing away, during the evening on Monday, we had some rain come through, of course, and then the sun had shone, and there was a bright rainbow outside of my bedroom window. And I was already heartbroken and depressed about Grant's passing, and that's when I was inspired to write a poem in dedication to him. Today I Saw a Rainbow, and it was about him. His mom got a copy of the poem. I made sure that I messaged her. And as a matter of fact, I think it was in Messenger where I sent the poem. I'll have to check again, but that was the inspiration for the poem. So again, my love and condolences go out to the Hopkins family, and I feel awful about his passing, and I can't say they will heal from this or they won't heal, but I hope that as the days and months and years progress, I hope that they can get through it, Like, I hope that it's manageable where they can get through it.
Hard.
It is hard. It is hard. When Buddy Boy died, You know, he was 9 years old. I actually went to his funeral, and it was, wow, it was hard. It was hard just to see him in the casket, and it was different. But it was very, just when I saw him, and my heart sank into my stomach, and I felt sick. And it's like, my God, this is just a baby, just a kid, a little boy who he didn't do anything to anybody. He's an innocent kid. And I remember I cried like a I cried like a baby. I sat there and bawled my eyes out, and you know, then they went on with the service, and ABC 12 was there at Buddy's funeral, and then we went to the grave site where, you know, his final resting place in New Lothrop, and it was that. I cried again there too, because, you know, they lowered him into the ground, and his sisters are there watching the whole thing ensue, and it's reality really hits you when you're at things like that, and when it's a kid of all people. It just adds, it just makes it so much worse, and it makes it so much more painful and so much more uncomfortable. So I've been to funerals of children, fallen warriors, as I call them, because they fought hard.
You hurting too, buddy.
Tooth and nail.
You're looking.
Yeah, it's Dad. But just to wrap up my point here, it's I can think of no...
It's going on 3 years for my dad.
Yeah.
And even though he was as old as he was,
Yeah.
it's still hard for me.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, of course. I mean, you know...
I don't remember exactly when his birthday was, so that really don't faze me.
But see, the thing is, too, is that he lived...
5 days, 5 days after my birthday is when he passed.
And Dad is joining us.
Hey,
And I'll never forget it.
Right.
your key, son.
My key.
Like I tell Dad, Dad even agreed. I should have never went.
It's probably in my bedroom.
I should have never went and followed the body bag out of the nursing home.
Yeah, that waiting for the coroner to show up, and then they.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, that's rough.
And the issue with me was when I first walked in, they didn't even reposition him out of the CPR.
No. Well, you know, and I want to put out there, too, for the record, that I'm not saying that that situation is any less painful. But what I'm saying is when we're talking about a kid, I couldn't imagine
Nor could I.
going through, you know, like being...
Starting up with an adult
Yeah.
that you've been with, you know.
Yeah. And, you know, because I probably shouldn't even said that. I can't imagine, because it kind of, and you know, it sounds unfair to say that. So I retract that statement. But just going through that, we're talking about a child who passed away. To be in that position, to know what that is,
You know.
has got to be...
And it's got to be even harder on them because they got to live in that house.
Yeah.
And if he died at home, if that child died at home, they got that image in their head.
Yeah, Grant...
In that house every day.
Grant passed away at Hurley Hospital in Flint. And it was on the day of his parents' wedding anniversary, which makes it that much fucking harder.
Yeah.
And
Because every year on their anniversary,
they're supposed to be celebrating a happy-go-lucky time, and it's going to be the day that their baby died.
Yeah.
And it's fucking awful.
I gotta tell you, changed.
Okay.
I just gotta open your back.
We're just talking about Grant here. Grant
Right.
Hopkins that passed away. But I made my point.
I'll get off my dad.
I'm just going to move on because it's a very delicate, sensitive subject to talk about. How are you doing, Dad?
Tired.
Tired.
Change them tires around.
Excuse me.
Guess I'll go make another
But of all days, Dad, you know that we had snow.
But I had to have. It's gotta get done.
You could have waited.
Why, it's done now.
I didn't expect you to do it right
Done now.
now. Okay, but I didn't expect you to do it now,
Well,
knowing that we just had snow.
I ain't worried about it. Snow.
I am.
Never
It's
stopped
cold
here before,
outside.
has it? It ain't really that cold. It's not really that cold out. It's just
Okay, well,
snow, water, mud.
yeah. We had thunder and lightning at 4 o'clock this morning. And
I slept through it.
yeah, the lightning was bright. It lit up my bedroom.
Which, like I was telling Jared, I'm shocked I slept through it because I didn't even take my medicine last night.
And as you can probably tell, we're all having allergy issues. Dad's is flaring up. Hers is flaring up. Mine's been flared up all week. And the reason for that is because with me, no, it's because I had chemotherapy. I went through all that treatment when I was a baby, and it liquidated my immune system, which means that when I get something, it doesn't just stick around for maybe 1-2 days. I have it for weeks at a time.
Yeah, that's like me and my immune system.
And my immune system is shot, done, gone. It's liquidated. But chemotherapy is some very potent stuff, and it will liquidate the immune system without a doubt. It's like people ask me in Messenger, they ask me questions about, okay, what to expect being a long-term survivor, and I try to be as truthful as I can be. So then go make a pot of coffee. I'll have more. I got a hole in my cup. Hey, Scruff, move.
Come here, Scruffy.
I had both of them earlier.
Come up here, Dad. Come on.
Him and the cat.
Come on. Lay down there for the Dad.
But
Come on.
so there's 5 Sundays in the month of December.
Yeah.
There's 5 Sundays and 5 Mondays. I don't know if there's 5 Tuesdays. I can't see the calendar from here. Otherwise, I would be able to tell you if there was. But I know there's 5 Sundays for sure and 5 Mondays. So this is the last month of the last year of the 2010s. Can you picture that in your head? We're going to be going into the 20s.
2019.
Yeah. And then we're going to go into 2020.
2020. As Barbara Walters would say.
Yeah.
2020.
Barbara Walters should be at the Rockin' New Year's Eve celebration in Times Square, and she should get up there and say, "My name is Barbara Walters, and this is 2020."
Welcome to 2020.
She should just say it exactly how I said it.
And she wouldn't be lying. It is 2020.
My name is Barbara Walters, and this is 2020.
That's her phrase.
And I should never have to wear these. I should have 2020 vision in 2020. But I don't think it works that way. I don't think it works that way. I don't know what else to talk about.
We were supposed to go up to Elwood today, but that ain't going to happen.
I heard they got a lot of snow up there.
And ice.
And ice.
Underneath there.
Well, we had an ice storm warning early this morning.
Oh, Damien missed a deer. Shot over top of it with a gun.
Shot over top of a deer, huh?
His mom said, or his dad said, "Damien, you were using a gun, not an arrow." He said, "I know." But they're coming out there, so hopefully Heidi gets one tonight.
I can't say anything because I don't hunt. I've shot a gun, I think, once in my life.
Shot my deer.
I shot a gun once in my
still
life.
another one.
Yeah, I shot a gun once in my life, and that was a 410 shotgun.
Yeah. Mine, you shoot mine, will break your shoulder.
And I've never shot a gun since. I just don't like guns.
You shoot mine, anybody shoots mine, it's like rip their arm off.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't like guns. I'm really not a fan of firearms.
Yeah. But you're for the,
I don't know. What am I for?
the rights of owning one.
Well, yeah. She's hollering for you.
What?
Here, please.
Really?
Our coffee pot is leaking.
I just sat down.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is every day, folks. Yeah, I mean, he's right. I don't believe in trumping someone's rights to possess firearms. That is a right to bear arms, but again, I don't know. There's just something about guns that scares me. I don't know. I just don't like them. But I'm not going to sit here and say you don't have a right to own a gun. You do have a right to own a gun. So I'm out of things to talk about all of a sudden. But let's see, what can I talk about? Oh, Bronner's. I was going to bring this up to Bronner's Christmas Wonderland in Frankenmuth, Michigan, and it is the world's largest Christmas store. It's open 361 days a year. I imagine, I know for a fact that this time of the year, they are going to be super busy because Christmas is coming up. It's just right around the corner. And they have tourists from all over the United States, all over the world, because they're known globally. There's people that come from Poland and Iceland, Germany, just different countries. They come to Frankenmuth, Michigan. And Bronner's is a must-stop location for out-of-state visitors. And I love going to Frankenmuth. The town itself is really beautiful. And, of course, if you're a fan of Greta Van Fleet, they're originally from Frankenmuth. And I've never seen any of the boys at Bronner's or anywhere in town, or if I did, I just didn't know it was them in particular. And they were probably just other people, other customers, or other, just random people walking through the store. I probably bumped into them. I probably walked past them. I don't know. But Greta Van Fleet, they were on Saturday Night Live. They are originally from Frankenmuth, Michigan. I don't know why I plugged them so much, but I just think they're pretty cool. Maybe that's the reason. But they are from right here in Saginaw County. I think it's really, really cool. They got that Led Zeppelin sound to them. And they performed live in some of our radio stations here in Saginaw County. And I think they were in Flint too, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But I know they performed, I think it was at Z93. That's in Saginaw. I don't know if they were at any other station, but I'm pretty sure they were at Z93 or Wheels 104.5 or one of those. But, I would love to see Greta Van Fleet. If they ever came back to their hometown of Frankenmuth,
Are you going to see them?
I would see them in a heartbeat.
But that brings back memories of the old rock and roll.
No, Greta Van Fleet is new.
Well, it sounds like...
They sound like Led Zeppelin. If you were just listening to me, I mentioned that. But they have the Led Zeppelin
I
sound.
grew up with Led Zeppelin.
I know you did. They have the Led Zeppelin sound,
That's rock and roll.
but they are new. They're today's.
They made a name for themselves.
Yeah, they did.
Pretty proud of them. Young people
Yeah,
like that.
young
they
kids.
play all this rap stuff. No, I like the sound they make.
No, they've got rock and roll. They
Got the rock and
They
roll.
rock out. They got a lot of good songs. But I was just talking about Bronner's, how busy they are this time of the year with Christmas being right around the corner. And who knows, I may have just, walking, and the Greta Van Fleet boys might have walked right past me, and I just didn't know it. It's
They were
possible.
up there for a Christmas thing,
Just to rock out for like a Christmas concert. They would probably sing, I don't know, Christian music.
yeah.
Okay. But I would still like to see them and maybe perhaps meet them, shake their hand, and have a picture taken with them or anything like that. Boys, come back to Frankenmuth. Come back to Saginaw County. We need you back home.
See ya.
And with Christmas coming right around the corner, I kind of wonder if they are going to come home
Oh, that'd be cool.
to see their family. That would be great. But it doesn't mean I'm going to go over there and, do a little stalking like, gee, I wonder where they live at. Oh, let me do some. No, nothing like
I think
that.
that's cool. They made it. That's that woman.
Their
Your
grandmother.
grandma? I thought that was cool.
Because their grandmother's name was Gretna. Yeah, Gretna. Don't, you can do a Google search. Don't listen to me. Just use Google. But I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. I think her name is Gretna. But anyway, Bronner's, because we keep going off track. Bronner's is the world's largest Christmas store. It's open 361 days a year. Yeah, when they worked at Valley Steel in Saginaw. My grandpa was a welder for a good many years, and he welded the steel for the framework of Bronner's. And Dad, he did landscaping work for Mr. Bronner himself. His wife, Irene, is still alive.
Yeah, she's a nice lady, too.
And I go to Bronner's just to walk around, and check things out. Because they've got different items in there. It seems like every time I go back...
Just don't break nothing.
Yeah. It seems like every time I go there, they have different items there. They're pricey. Excuse me. They have very expensive items in there, but it's so cool just to walk around and look at everything. But okay, I made my plug for Bronner's and Greta Van Fleet, and the town of Frankenmuth, perhaps. I don't know. And I plan on doing some traveling next year too. Again. There are some places in Michigan that I would love to visit that I've never been to before. I would like to go to Mackinac Island next year. That's one place I've never been. I've been to Mackinac City, but I've never been on the island. And you have to take a ferry, of course, to get from Mackinac City to Mackinac Island. I think there's like 2 ferry services. One of them I think shut down, but I knew there were 2 of them. So I'd have to find out how much it costs to take a ferry.
Okay, folks, I'm back.
And
Coffee's done.
yeah, because my cup has a hole in the bottom of it.
Yeah, we only got about that much in the pot, so I'm making a new one.
Okay, but
Ruined.
I'll have to find out how much the ferry rates are from Mackinac City to go over to the island, and hell, maybe the 3 of us can go. I've never been on Mackinac Island before, ever.
I have a long time ago. Long time ago.
Yeah, I've never been.
I've been at Seashell City too. Before Dad took me.
Yeah, northern Michigan is just beautiful. I love going up north. Ted Nugent has some property in, I think, up near Kalkaska, which is in northwestern lower Michigan. He's got some property up there, and I think he hunts. Of course, he's known as being an avid hunter. I think he does go hunting up there.
He's the one trying to push the issue about being able to bait him in again.
Yeah. And I've listened to him speak to members of our government about this issue, about baiting deer, and he's right. I mean,
We've done it that way for years.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know a lot about hunting, and I don't want to get into too much about it, but I do know that he is very outspoken about this ban on baiting deer. And listening to him speak, it makes perfect sense. Because he said, I'd like to know what great miracle happens if I put a bait pile of apples or whatever near my tree stand, or if the apples fall directly from the tree and I don't move them. What great miracle is supposed to happen? And he's right.
yeah.
Because it's going to be a bait pile no matter if the apples fall from the tree beneath the tree, or if you gather them up and move them, or if you buy a bag of apples and plot them near your tree stand. What's the big deal?
Well, see, and then, like Dad and I were talking, they want you to bait plot. Well, I says, can't you just go and get clove and throw it down, seeds, and throw it down and grow it that way? He says, yeah, that's what they're talking about.
Yeah. like I said, I'm not a hunter. I don't know a lot about all that stuff.
I learned a lot from listening to Dad and talking to
Yeah,
Dad.
well, Dad is a hunter too, but there's a lot of things, like I'm not a hunter, so I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't understand about hunting or baiting or any of that stuff. But Ted Nugent, he's from Michigan. He's from the Detroit area, I think Redford. And yeah, he's got some property up in Kalkaska, and he goes hunting in northern Michigan. But would it be any surprise if he didn't hunt? He's a hunter. That's his trade. Other than being a rock and roller, he likes to whack 'em and stack 'em, as he said in an interview on the Joe Rogan podcast, which was very interesting to listen to. Whack 'em and stack 'em. I don't hunt, but I love venison. I like venison jerky. I love venison chili. Venison stew. I love venison. I don't hunt it. But that's okay. There's a lot of things I don't hunt, but I enjoy. You know, I like chicken. I like pork chops. I like, ground chuck. I'm a meat eater. I just don't hunt it. But anywho, is it me or is there a chill in here?
There's a chill, and we're thinking it's that door.
Yeah, there's a air leak. Oh, come on, coffee, get done. But I don't know what's happening this week. Actually, I do know what's happening this week. I'm glad that I kind of reminded myself of this. We have a birthday party this week at McDonald's here in Chesaning. A good friend of ours, we've known him for years. His little boy is having a birthday party on the 4th, I believe. Yes, the 4th. The 4th. December 4th. We've been invited, and that's where I'll be. I don't know how old is Isaiah? He's got to be, 5?
He's 3 or 4.
Oh, maybe a little younger than that. But he's just a young kid. He's just a little guy.
Yeah, because I had to ask Tony because of the tickets.
Yeah.
Because I could have got
Tickets for wrestling, that is.
I thought I could get his for free because of his age.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't do it that way this year, wrestling match.
Yeah.
So I had to pay $10 for his ticket too. So
Oh.
that's why it was $60.
But, the cost.
I can't wait for that day to get here.
Yeah. It's.
Because I got something special for Isaiah and Reese.
Yeah.
That day.
Well, anyway, his party is this week at McDonald's in Chesaning. We've been invited, and I got to figure out what to get the little guy. Tony told us what he likes. Mr. Tony Escamilla, really good friend of ours. We love Tony. We love Isaiah too, and they want us to be there, so I'm gonna be there. And I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. So we do have plans this week. And other than that, I have to pay my car insurance. I'll probably do that tomorrow if the roads are clear, or at least if they're not slippery. I got to go pay my car insurance tomorrow. Get that done and out of the way because I just don't need the headache. I don't need the hassle. They give me 2 weeks to pay it. Like, my car insurance isn't due until the 14th of every month. But I just want to pay it at the beginning of the month and get it done and over with and out of the way so I don't have to worry about it. So I don't have the stress and anxiety of worrying about, oh, shit, my bill isn't paid. Yeah, it is. It's paid. And it will be paid. As soon as I get to the credit union and withdraw my money and go pay it, then I won't have that constant anxiety of, shit, if I get pulled over, I'm driving without insurance. No. They give me 2 weeks to pay it. Because I don't feel like yabba dabba doing my way around. I've heard of brake shoes, but I've actually got tennis shoes. I don't want to have to, go through all these shoes getting around by foot, because I'm not Fred Flintstone. This isn't the Stone Age. And law says you got to have insurance on your vehicle, so I'd rather just follow the rules and not break any laws. Amy, she used to have a car, didn't you? I drove the piss out of that car. That little Dodge Neon. I drove all the way out to Lapeer with that car. First time I'd ever been there. You gave me permission to do it, take it on a joyride, just to keep it up and running. So I did. I put some miles on it. I drove all the way out to Lapeer and back. And that's quite a ways away, Lapeer is. Because you got to go through Flint, and you got to keep going about, 20 miles or whatever. Maybe not even that far. But I know it's quite a drive past Flint if you're headed towards Port Huron on Interstate 69. Lapeer is like halfway between Flint and Port Huron. But Amy, she's checking her Facebook by the sounds of it. Are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Now I'm going into the news.
Going into the news. The depressing news. Well, I mean, it's not all depressing. Excuse me. It's not all depressing. It's just what you look at.
In this weather, there's no way I would camp outside of a freaking store.
So, I don't know, some people that like this Black Friday stuff that they were talking about. I mean, yeah, it's every year. It's a shopping craze. It's a shopping frenzy. I have never went out shopping on a Black Friday, ever. And I don't see why anybody would. Like, stay home. I've heard of people actually getting killed during Black Friday. I didn't hear of anything this year happening, but...
No, they did have a robbery.
A robbery?
Yeah. They had some dude go into the store, I think it was Macy's.
Yeah.
Or somewhere in Saginaw, anyway. And they had a gun, and they were gonna shoot, and they got caught as they came out to the vehicle. Some colored dude.
Yeah. It's,
They threw him up against... They found the gun in the bathroom right where he was at.
yeah, it's...
But he says, no, I didn't have a gun. They go in the garbage to find it. But it's not his gun.
Well, I mean, if they get fingerprints and they can find out who it's registered to,
You know what was really funny?
if it's registered at all,
He tried to wash the gun off with water
fingerprints.
to get his fingerprints
Yep.
and everything off it.
Yeah.
But like the cop said, little does he know it's not working.
No. Well,
You can still get it.
that's something for the police to know then. But it's because I have heard of this in years past where with the Black Friday situation, people have died being trampled on, literally being trampled, run on, stomped on.
Yeah, and then they...
I can't understand for the life of me why anything would be worth dying over, especially an Xbox.
Well, and then you get people stealing stuff because they're so crowded that they can't pay attention to everybody.
Yeah. And the alarms are going to go off, the detectors, at some point, because that thing knows if you don't, if an item has not been scanned, and you go past the detector, that thing is going to go off. Although, however, that's not always the case, because even when I have paid for items, that detector would still go off.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of it, I think, has to do with it measures your heart rate, too. I'm convinced. I don't know if this is actually true, but I'm convinced that it measures your heart rate as you're walking by. Because if you know you're stealing something, your adrenaline is rushing. And if you're walking through it with a rapid heart rate, it's going to know. because you know you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I have paid for things, and when I have passed through the detector, it would still go off at Walmart in Owasso. There's a lot of items I paid for, and I would just casually push my cart out or just carry my bags, and it would go off, and it's like, I paid for all this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I got it all done for you.
You got it all done for
I
me?
wanted to van up, clear it off,
Okay.
everything's set on it.
All right, well, thank you.
You said to go for a ride, you can.
I put the tires in the back, the one that went soft on this side.
Yeah,
I know where the plug is, but you also have that other tire and that extra one I got
yeah.
to put on that rim. So if you get a chance to put it on that rim, that way you're going to have a good spare.
Key to my van. Okay.
See, now he gets to go for a ride if he wants.
Yeah,
That's it.
I just don't know where, because I don't know where exactly the roads are bad and where they're good.
Yeah,
Main drags are probably good.
I'm tired.
Back roads.
Well, the coffee should be
Done.
done,
No,
or it may still be
you're
brewing.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. But we were just talking about Black Friday. The people who trample over you just to get an
Just
Xbox.
good deals.
And like I told
They
Jared,
have it on a Saturday.
why have a Black Friday? And then the reason why they have the Black Friday is so everybody can go in and steal crap because they're so crowded they can't keep track of everybody.
And I was just telling Amy too,
Pretty much.
like the detectors. Like when you walk out of a department store, they have the detectors. If they think you're stealing something, it'll sound.
Yeah.
But I think too, like I paid for items, and that detector would still go off. But I think what it does is it measures your heart rate. If you have a rapid heart rate,
Yeah.
it'll instantly detect it, and it'll
It'll tell you,
because
oh,
when you're
stealing something.
because when you're stealing something, you have an
Gotta
increased
pump
heart
it a
rate.
little bit
Yeah,
hard so you don't want to get caught.
yeah, yeah. You have an increased heart rate, so.
What if you got a pacer or something?
But that's a pacemaker,
Yeah.
not a pacer, pacemaker.
Or,
It's
you know, it probably said
like I said, I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but I'm almost sure that it measures your heart
Yeah,
rate.
Because when you're lying or you get caught
Yeah,
doing something or you're going to steal something, think you're going to get caught or
your heart rate increases. But even when I paid for things, it would still go off. So that's why I'm saying maybe it measures your heart rate. I don't know. I could very well be wrong.
And I've noticed too, when like you buy big things, there's no way to deactivate their security things on them.
Why would you want to?
Well, no, you go through the cash register, right, to pay for it.
Yeah.
They should deactivate it so that when you go through the thing, the sensor, it doesn't go off.
Right.
They don't.
But they scan. Now, when I bought my TV, they scanned the box. There's a barcode on the box that they scanned, or not the box, but the sticker,
Yeah,
the price tag.
but there's no way of shutting off that security thing that's on there
Whew.
because they forget.
I don't know. It didn't go off when I bought my
I
TV.
know this Uncle Wayne. Hey, just call him back. Give me a call. Get a chance. Love you guys. Bye.
But anyway, I'm not a thief, so I wouldn't know.
I ain't either, and I don't expect people to steal from me. If they got to steal from me, they can stay the hell out of my yard.
Yeah, don't bother us.
Oh,
Well,
that's right.
actually, there was a moment when I was a kid. The first and only time I ever stole and thought I was going to get away with it was over in St. Charles at Frank's Supermarket. It was a candy bar, and because we got out to the car, and I had chocolate. The evidence, I had chocolate around my lips. Mom says, "Did you eat that candy bar?" "What candy bar?" "Get in there." So I had to go in,
Back in there.
talk to the manager, and he put the scare into me.
Oh, yeah.
He says, "You like stealing from me?" He says, "Why ought I just call the cops right now?" And he picked up the phone and, "No, don't." I started crying. "Don't call the cops." He says, "You don't want me to call the cops?" No. He says, "You better not ever steal from me again." And he slammed the phone down. He says, "The next time I'm doing it for real. I will really call the cops and you will really go to jail."
Yeah, I put enough scare
And
on him. He never stole the thing in his
After
life.
that, Never again.
Never seen in his life, never stole.
You know, maybe they should have parents do that more often with their kids when
Well,
they do it.
Yeah.
That scares them.
Yeah, but if the parents are no better, and if they steal, if they have a history of shoplifting, then
I got caught selling hot tires that I stole, and I went to jail. I got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
I've done it again.
reminiscent of
If I can't pay for it, I don't need it.
Dad showed me the paperwork.
Yeah,
It was a blue sheet dated 1973 in Genesee County, Montrose, Michigan. He stole tires. He was only 15 years old. He stole tires.
I was selling them to a cop. I didn't know it was some bitch.
Bad boy. Bad boy.
Bastard anyways.
But lesson learned. Lesson learned.
I learned
That's
my lesson. I never stole it again. I figure if I ain't got it, I can't pay for it. I don't need it unless somebody gives me it. Then that's different. But I ain't stealing.
yeah. So
Nope.
tires, candy bar,
Anything.
big difference, you know. But it's still an item.
I used to steal the little mittens that go over your baby's hands and the
For your kids.
pacifiers.
For your daughters, though. For your kids.
For your babies, yeah.
It's different if you have no money and you need something bad, yeah.
Desperate.
I've heard mothers doing that just to keep their kids warm. I can understand that.
Walking through the aisle though, and your kid's screaming, so you ain't got no pacifier in the diaper bag. You're looking for it. It's like, heck with it.
Take one out, put it in the mouth.
Well, it's like the people who they rip the tags off,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're on surveillance. You're being watched.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't.
Oh, yeah, someone found that out.
Yeah, I just wouldn't be so brave or stupid.
Mention names.
No, I'd rather not. But I would not be so brave or so stupid to pull a tag off of something
That's why these people
and think I'm going to get away with it.
Or what's that called?
Looting?
When they take tags off and put different tags on them.
Oh, I don't know.
I forget what they call that.
I forgot too.
Retail fraud.
Yeah, retail fraud. Yeah,
Jay got in trouble for that.
yeah. You can't do stuff like that, folks. You cannot do stuff like that.
That's why Heather got in trouble. She did.
Well, that's a different story. But anyway,
Man.
I've been here for a little while. A little while.
Y'all
Just
had a good
a
Thanksgiving.
while. Oh, I've been here for over an hour already.
Hope they all had a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, our Thanksgiving was pretty good.
We had a nice Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we had no interruptions to where we had to shut down early.
No.
Last time it was Uncle Mark.
Yeah, well,
We never had no.
Uncle Mark's family, though. That's no interruption. Yeah, and we had electricity. Dad made a very he prepared a very delicious ham,
It was good ham.
and I did the rest.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind it. I loved it. We had strawberry cheesecake for dessert.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah, one year still that
Strawberry
we
cheesecake.
had power and we had to go down to Jimmy's and do
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we
well.
invited Jim down here. And
Yeah, my stepdad was here.
Jay and his girlfriend and me and
Yep.
Amy was here. We had a nice day.
It was great.
Everybody got tired or fat and tired and went to sleep.
Yeah,
That's what I did.
I went right to sleep.
I know what.
Now, when I make my mashed potatoes, though, I add just the right amount of milk, right amount of butter. I don't add any cream or anything to it. Just milk and butter. That's all I add. Salt and pepper.
When I make my macaroni, shell cheese macaroni with the venison burger,
Yeah,
I always add milk to that.
just to make it
Stir up,
more
make it-
creamier.
Oh yeah, that turns out good that way.
Yeah,
Nice and
like
creamy.
cheeseburger mac.
Yeah, that's good.
But what I like to do is when I make cheeseburger macaroni, I like to add Fritos corn chips, and I call it cheesy Frito mac. Which sounds pretty.
stuff.
It actually sounds good right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's on the agenda for the rest of today.
I don't know unless I gotta go help Jay
I
get
don't know
that
either.
car. I don't know.
We have that birthday party on the 4th for
We
Isaiah.
got that for Isaiah. We gotta get him. We gotta get him something. I don't know what to get him. He likes cars.
Yeah.
He likes. What's the other thing you said he liked?
Oh, I don't remember.
Not Batman.
I don't remember. Tony told us, but it just
Yeah.
slipped my mind. We'll get him something for his birthday. He's he comes over here, like sometimes Tony will stop in and say hello, and just to visit casually, he'll bring Isaiah over, and I'll spoil him with a popsicle in the
I was
in the
just gonna
freezer.
say, you might as well go get him a box of popsicles, Jared.
But it might, and I asked him, Isaiah said, isn't it kind of cold outside now to be eating popsicles? He says, no. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's too cold. But we're in Michigan, too. People will eat ice cream when it's 40 below zero outside. I don't know why.
Walking through the snow, eating an ice cream cone.
In sandals and shorts.
Oh,
too.
no, I didn't have sandals and shorts.
Oh, but I've seen it. I've
Yeah.
seen people wear sandals and shorts and T-shirts and just regular baseball caps when it's 40 below zero.
My buddy does.
Idiots.
My buddy does, Jared. The army guy. Shoot,
I don't know. You're telling the story, Dad.
Larry.
Oh, yeah.
He always wears shorts because he had that Agent Orange. He tried
Yeah.
Agent Orange.
Well, that's different. I mean, that's different. And that may be the case for other people. I don't know, but
But I see these young kids wearing them, and
just to think that they're Iron Man and that the cold weather has no effect on them. Yeah, but when you get sick, I don't want to catch what you have.
That's why I told him when he was sick. He's been around.
And you shouldn't, we shouldn't have to tell people to stay away if they're sick. When I'm sick, I stay home. I stay right here. I don't leave that door. I'm home. I don't know why it should be so difficult to tell anybody if you're sick, don't come around. I'm not going to put a sign up on my front door that says if you're sick, go away. You should just intuitively already have that in your head.
Brain to do that.
But anyway, I've rambled on. I'm going to wrap this up.
All right.
Any last words? We kind of have a busy week
Try to
ahead.
have a good Christmas when it gets here.
That's not until we got
Be safe.
24 days. We got like a little over 3 weeks.
Be safe.
Amy?
Be safe. Be careful. Peace out.
Oh, it's my turn. So, have a good week. And just be good to each other. Help when you can. Much love. Peace out. And I'm not sliding out. I'm going to spin out. See ya.